Welcome, everyone. I'm very excited to have Keren with us today to talk about Eat Smart, Build Big, Nutrition for Business Growth. I didn't realize how important this was for me, but I grew up with a father who was not very healthy. And as a result, he had to change his diet in the 80s so that he could live longer. And I found that my education on nutrition, diet, and exercise came very early. And later on, I found that it's been helpful for me as a business person, as an entrepreneur, because it requires a lot of energy and the ability to think clearly and be focused. So, grateful that Keren can make time to talk to us. She also was part of the Wellness Now soft launch. So without further ado, let me give you a little bit of background on Keren. She's a registered dietitian with extensive experience in corporate wellness and performance nutrition. She specializes in helping professionals to optimize their health, focus, productivity through evidence-based and practical nutrition strategies with a career spanning roles in healthcare, education, and international wellness project. So let's give her some
Wow,
love and a
an
warm welcome.
intro. Wow. It's only me. Thank you for having me. Really exciting. It's fun to be on this webinar, finally. I've been through so many webinars and now it's my turn. Okay. Hi everyone. Really happy that all 13 of you joined, as I see here. Kunui said so much about me. I don't want to take too much time and I'll just hit the road. So the next, I would say 3 or 4 slides are for the people who are listening and are still not fully convinced that they need to invest in nutrition or wellness or just overall the health of their employees or teams or whatever kind of like staff you're leading. Can we see the next slide? So it'll be a bit like depressing details, but I'll have to go through this. So basically, why does this matter? So the World Health Organization actually recognizes poor nutrition as one of the main risk factors for chronic diseases. And chronic diseases is a disease that it's not acute. It means that you actually live with it, for you can live with that for a few decades of your life, and you basically lose productivity. So it's kind of small, but we can see the cost of dollars in US, billions of dollars, and how much it costs to actually have people with chronic illnesses. And the majority of these illnesses, we can actually, first of all, see less, I mean, have less people diagnosed with those illnesses, but also have people be diagnosed a bit later in life. Okay, can I see the next slide, please? Okay, this, you all know the Bangkok Post, okay? And I saw this title, the Bangkokians are the fattest Thais, which is a really insulting title, but I had to address it. It actually shows that a recent study showed that 56% of people in Bangkok had abdominal obesity compared to almost 40% nationwide. Just imagine how many people just located here in Bangkok have weight issues. And I'm not talking about people who have just a bit like too many like kilos or pounds, but excessive weight that's been dragging on for a long time and slowly, little by little, causing more damage. Can I see the next slide, please? Okay. Another really depressing topic, poor employee health means slacking on the job and business basically lost it. So you see tons and tons of these articles just popping up about different ways that businesses today can kind of understand what is the price that they're paying for their employees being sick and kind of like having more days off, or maybe like the managing class being a people who are usually above 40, showing other types of illnesses and chronic illnesses. Can I see the next slide, please? Okay, a few more depressing topics and a research that really assessed the economic impact of obesity. So this is a matter that we have to address. We can't really ignore it. I think all of us, we see that within our teams and the people we kind of manage or work with. It's there, and it's only going to rise and rise and rise unless we act in a preventative way. Can I see the next slide, please? Okay. So when I kind of decided to style this slide, and I said, what information can I bring in that will be a practical tips that people can implement beginning today? I feel that's the best value that I can bring. So I would say that the biggest mistakes that people make today, and I kind of think back about all the cases I've had over the years, and what people with different backgrounds, could be teachers, people who are running companies, people who are entrepreneurs, what were they kind of like complaining about and not seeing in front of their eyes that they kind of need to address? So the first thing that I would say is skipping breakfast. Many people, they wake up the very last minute, don't take the time to have a proper breakfast, or they work in a type of work that doesn't really allow them to take breaks. So skipping breakfast is drastically is associated with low cognitive performance and more stress. Sugar crashes, which is something we know that usually happens after lunch, and could be after also just binging on processed snacks that we usually find in our company's pantry, kind of leads to blood glucose kind of fluctuating. Sometimes it's really, really up, sometimes it's really, really down, and we're not really stable, and our bodies feel it. And mild hydration, people are really, really bad with drinking water, and I feel like most of you can relate to that. You might have a glass or a bottle sitting next to you, but when it's done, you don't fill it up, and you have a bottle. I don't see it, but I know you have a bottle. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so a bit more about why we feel these phenomenons, and I will try to be not as scientific because I know that it can be a bit confusing. I'll try to make it as simple as possible. So why do we crash after lunch? And we all feel that sensation, kind of like thinking, do I want to have a big meal? I know what are the outcomes of it. Do I kind of plan my day that afternoon? I don't have any big thing happening. Do I do my meetings only in the morning when I'm really, really focused? So what happened is we will have a really high carb lunch, low protein, and those spike up our insulin. Basically, we have a lot of sugar coming in response to that, our bodies to create insulin, and all of the blood in our hands and our legs is usually drawn into the digestive system. So we kind of feel like this terrible food coma and extreme tiredness and fatigue. And what we also see in a study that those simple carbs meal, they actually increase specific waves in our brain that is linked to that feeling of drowsiness and kind of like fatigue that we're feeling. So we can kind of plan our day, and I'll give you a few tips later on how to avoid that feeling, or perhaps make it a bit less, difficult to handle. Okay. We see people who are, brain fog. So brain fog we see a lot with women who are going through menopause. It could be women from age of 35 until I would say 55. They would kind of have a sensation of something is off my brain. I'm just not thinking properly. I don't know what's going on. And we see different, so with women, it's usually hormones, but men who are kind of like talking about this, we do see really bad diets. And when I say diet, I mean your eating routine. It's not how you chose to eat, it's like your natural way of eating now. So we see, again, high sugar. It affects cognitive performance, and we see that also in researches that we've done. And what really helps with that is to kind of make sure that you're eating enough omega-3 and to get that right support. So if you have a feeling that you're not eating enough omega-3s, you should consider supplementing. Okay, next slide, please. Okay. Inflammation. I feel like the world, the last few years has been talking about inflammation and what does it mean? Everything is pro-inflamed, and what's basically happening. So unless you've had a really deep investigation about what is causing inflammation in your body, there's no way for me to tell you that food or this food will cause you to have inflammation symptoms. I do want to have people more aware of their overall symptoms and kind of document it in a way. And if you're feeling that you have a very bad time with health and you have really different symptoms, it could be your eyesight that is kind of like betraying you. You can have migraines. You can have, if it's women, it's issues with your cycles. Start documenting it. So you have answers on the trends and the tendency of the things that you kind of notice around in your body. So with inflammation, again, we see that a lot from really bad diets that are packed with sugar and trans fat. And those actually cause specific components in our body within our white blood cells to kind of kick up and think that we have some type of inflammation going on in our body and make them act crazy to try to repair something. We do see people with chronic inflammation. And again, this is something that should be backed up by blood tests. You can't just decide, oh, I have inflammation, chronic inflammation. Because when you have a diagnosis, you can start treating it. But we do see people who are complaining about fatigue and depression for a good while, and we see that due to chronic inflammation. And sometimes those inflammation could be with people with high weight, because we know that fat tissues actually secrete more inflammation factors. Okay. Sleep. I feel like sleep is also a really big topic recently. People have been complaining that they're not sleeping very well, trying to find some type of, I would say, not like a quick fix, but something to supplement on. And we see that the market is really adjusting to that. And you see many types of magnesium and kind of like big promises that this supplement will help you to fall asleep. But again, unless you really investigate what is stopping you from having a really good sleep, if you are staying away from your phone in the last hour or so before you go to bed, are you practicing like good, I would say, like good thinking methods or clearing up your head methods? We have tons of those. You're always gonna feel like you are sleep deprived, okay? So it's a balance of changing your diet, kind of understanding what is wrong with your diet currently, and seeing what you need to cut back on or to eliminate completely, to help the supplements that you're already taking to really help you in that process of sleeping better. Okay. Can I see the next slide, please? Okay. So another important slide for you to kind of look and see if what you're doing that is in the cut reduce list or the try this instead list. Pretty sure all of you can spot at least two things that you're doing and you need to cut out, or things that you've been thinking about trying, and maybe this is the right timing to try it. I would say the easiest thing to treat immediately is water consumption and just your overall hydration. Find the right system and the right way to remind yourself to drink. Cut those sugary drinks, and you're already on the right path. Can I see the next slide, please? Okay, as promised, a few lunch options to kind of help you not to feel that terrible energy crash. So basically, when I work with clients and we kind of think about how your day flows and what you should eat for breakfast or snack or lunch or whatever, I teach my clients always to look at their macronutrients, which is your carbs, your proteins, and your fat, and try to incorporate all of those macros in one meal. And I would tell my clients, if you're feeling like you're not so sure what type of category or what type of protein you want, or like, look up, okay? Look up what is considered a protein, what is considered a carb, what is considered a fat. If you want to do it on your own, try to combine those together, and you will have better options and a lot more ideas of what to reach out for. So the basic, I would say, is always find a good source of protein. It could be chicken, it could be fish, it could be lentils. The World Health Organization has been really trying to have people cut on beef and not eat beef as much. And I feel like that's a really good idea and a good direction to go. So we have tons of other options that we can kind of introduce to ourselves. This is actually a good time if you're feeling like you are kind of spinning around the same type of dishes to try out new things. Get as many colors in your plate. We're supposed to have 5 different colors of fruits and vegetables, and in Asia, we have tons and tons of fruits to choose from. Maybe introduce yourself to new vegetables that you didn't know before here in Asia. Okay. Do you have any questions, Nui, that you want to ask?
I had questions around what you talked about earlier about inflammation, right? I know it would not be medical, but
Right,
one of the things that you had said is like, well, inflammation could be one of the issues, right, for the
right,
eating stuff. But
right.
what could be, for somebody who doesn't know what an inflammation is, could you kind of spell that out? And then also, what could be indicative of an inflammation so that you know that, oh, if you have this going on, perhaps you should go
Okay.
talk to somebody like you or get
Yeah, yeah.
blood tests,
Okay.
etc.
I would start by saying that I would make a habit as an individual, and I advise that to my clients all the time. Around your birthday every year, go and kind of like have a nice time with yourself and get your blood drawn. Okay, it's not as nice as getting a massage or getting a new haircut, but it's another way of looking after yourself. Okay, once a year, for some of us, are different factors and compounds that are found in our regular blood test could be a bit different because we are aging, we're going through different illnesses, we have genetics that is also playing a really big role. And for some people, 1 year can really make a big difference in a bad way. So I would make a habit to get my blood drawn and get the most extensive blood test that I can get. Test for glucose levels, all of my vitamins. In the past 18 months, almost all the clients I had vitamin D insufficiency, all of them, by staying indoors, staying away from the sun, which is good. You should stay away from the sun, but we're staying away from the sun too much, and we're not processing vitamin D well enough. So many people kind of have tons of deficiencies that they don't know about. It could be iron deficiency, could be issues with your thyroid that you have no idea that you're carrying around. Same with your white blood cells. That's the first thing that I would look if I want to see if someone has an inflammation going on, is I would look at white blood cells to see what is the immune system response to this. If it's peaking in a really crazy, crazy amount, and the person will say to me, no, I haven't been sick in a really long time. Okay, you have some inflammation going on that we need to start addressing. And I would send that person back to his or her physician and ask for a deeper consultation, because this is a red flag that we actually found, luckily, thanks to this blood test, a little blood test that made us ask the right questions and focus on the right things. And we can start treating those inflammation factors from this point on, because we'll have a lot more information with the test that will get done.
Okay, so I asked just as a follow-up question, Hervé also posted a question, which I'll ask afterwards. Of my internet dropped out. What blood tests, Crystal asked?
Okay, so I would say the basic, like a good quality blood test that I find has good data to work with is glucose, and it's a fasting glucose. You do it while you fast early in the morning. Okay. People who have a background with diabetes, I'll ask a few more factors, but this is for the general community. So glucose, I would ask for lipids, which is your LDL, your HDL, your TGs, all that group. Okay, I would ask for liver function, because you just never know what's up. I would ask for kidney function. It's just one test to get done. And you can kind of have an overall checkup with all of your system. I would ask for, with women who are, again, thinking that they might have symptoms of menopause, I would ask for estrogen and progesterone. I would ask for TSH, which is your thyroid. Some people have a thyroid that is underworked or overworked, and you could really suffer from that if you're trying to lose weight for a long time and nothing is working. And again, it's one test that will tell us the direction of where's our next investigation. Okay, so you can always ask for more and more tests, but those are like the minimum ones. And in terms of vitamins, I would ask for vitamin D, vitamin B12. I would ask for iron and magnesium. And from that, and if I see something that is wrong, I would ask for a follow-up and kind of investigate more and see which direction should I start working on.
Are there types of food that you would encourage to manage the to manage inflammation?
I would say if I have a client that is showing really, really high levels of chronic inflammation, usually that type of person would be a mess in terms of eating. It will be a person who is has a lot of ultra processed food on his day-to-day. His snacks could be, you know, tons of carbs, could be chocolate, could be one of those like instant noodles. It's just like a fast meal on the go. So I would, when I see this type of client, I know that I have many changes that I want to happen, but I also have a person that is dealing with other things in life that I kind of need to address little by little all these topics. So I would find a few things, a few guidelines that that person is willing to start working by. And it could be cutting down on ultra processed food, like we'll find solution for all those snacks. We need to help with kind of like understanding how to construct your meal. Even if you're ordering in or you're going to some kind of like a food court, what are you looking for exactly? We're looking for fish. Fish is protein. You're looking for a healthy carb. What would be considered as a healthy carb? It could be rice. It could be anything that has a lot of fiber in it. So I can't really say that it's like it's an ongoing process, especially for someone who hasn't paid attention too much to his health, to kind of change, but little by little. And especially if you have someone who you've reached out to and you have good chemistry with and you're trusting, you can make a lot of progress. It really has to be little by little. Not all people are mentally capable of doing a 180-degree change. So you really have to spot that with a conversation to understand, okay, this person is really ready to make a change. Let's go all in. Or that person came to me with blood test and nearly cried out of stress. Let's do it little by little. You have to be really compassionate when it comes to that. Yeah.
Irving has a question, and his question is, can you please share any evidence, study that is bad to eat beef, especially grass-fed beef, not McDonald's?
Mm. I can't share right now because I don't have a slide with it in it, but if you go on the World Health Organization, which is a public website that has information written for the entire general population does not come from a medical background, you can easily look up different guidelines and what has decided within like the past 5 years or 10 years. And the recommendation today is to decrease the amount of beef. I do know that some industries do invest in really good quality beef. I don't say cut beef. I don't say don't eat beef at all. I just say limit, because I would say in some areas of the world, the local cuisine is strictly lies on beef. Could be lamb, could be goat, could be, you know, whatever. So, and with those communities, we actually see a lot more cardiovascular illnesses. So, out of research, and again, everything is available online. I'm not sharing any top secret information. Everything's available online. If you look up, you see that the recommendation today is to decrease the portions, the weekly portions of beef consumption. Yeah.
Is there anything else that should be managed the same way aside from meat?
Ultra processed food, consumption of sugar, consumption of salt, all of those different all of those factors have long been proved to make our health deteriorate and not bring it to a better place. We consume a lot of salt in every packaging. You can kind of look at the table and see the amounts of sodium. I think the majority of us could find something in our office or our home and kind of see the amount of sodium in every snack and it's everywhere. So we are consuming a lot of salt, whether we are aware of it or not. Same with sugar. It's just there.
Interesting.
And kind of like pretending it's not there is irresponsible because it is there. And even myself, when I need to recommend a snack to a client that tells me I will not cook for myself. I cannot, sometimes I just can't get fresh food. Then out of all the options available in the supermarket or in the convenience store, we'll find something that it's still bad, but it's not as bad as other things. So you can't go all perfect. I'm gonna do all, everything natural, everything organic, because the majority of us don't live on a farm. We don't have access to all these things. It could be quite depressing to live up to that standard of always eating that really clean eating. And I would say focus your energy on your mental health. Try to eat as best as you can. Implement what you're able to implement now, and consider within a reasonable amount of time, let's say, I don't know, a quarter of a year or 6 months, to adapt another habit, another healthy habit when you feel like you're ready to do it. That's my personal opinion.
Okay, so Hervé has a follow-up question and then Crystal has a question. Hervé says, thank you for your response. I have been on WHO guidelines. There are zero trials to back it up, no trials available online, recommendations.
I
I
see.
think he's looking for like scientific proof.
Okay, I'll be happy to share one, and you can send in a newsletter if you want. I'll be happy to
Okay,
share.
okay.
Okay.
Sure. Or Hervé, if you want to privately share with me your email, I can introduce you to Keren. Or I think you might have saw that Keren put her LinkedIn at the top, so you can also connect directly
Yeah,
with her.
happy to discuss it.
Yeah, if you would like more information in regards to that. Okay, I see. I will share that with Keren. She can share that with you. So, Crystal asked, it's funny because you said, we don't live on a farm and we can't easily source everything organic and clean. So she asked if, do you have any recommendations for meal delivery?
To be honest, I'm not working with any meal delivery company. So I'm completely, looking at this from a very professional perspective. I've had a few clients who reached out to different companies. Some of them were really overpriced, and over a long period of time, I think it would be hard to fund it, especially when you are constantly kind of like feeling the urge to order something cheaper or to get something cheaper on the street. So it's hard to find a company that has like really, really good service and really good products, at least to the ones that I was exposed to. I couldn't find a company that I was really, I would say, fulfilled with. Um, what did she send? Do you see the?
Oh, is there another message? Yeah, she was asking, do you have a guidebook that gives meal hacks for a lazy person like me?
I do provide that for my clients. Yes, and my clients, when they have a consultation with me, they also get a specific file, their meal plan, and a lot of um, information that I've gathered while living here in Bangkok. Could be where to order specific meals, how to handle groceries in the supermarkets, how to read labels. But this is something that I share with my clients.
Okay, I just realized I could have just unmuted instead of bombarded Nui with these questions to ask.
It's okay. Sometimes some people are in a loud place and they can't unmute because then you get a barrage of, sound.
Okay. Okay, so my questions was around me being lazy. So what I would do, I think that your link was here somewhere, and I'll reach out to you privately because I've been struggling. I don't eat a lot, but I gain a lot. I don't know how. So I'm now about to eat breakfast. What's the time? 2:43. I'm gonna do bacon and eggs as breakfast and some orange juice and 2 tiny slices of garlic bread. Lunch might be around 6 or 7, but I still manage to gain, and I'm gonna work out later. So I definitely need to have some type of test done to figure this out. So
I mean, not knowing you well enough, I would ask you to get a blood test just to see what's going on and if there's something hidden that we can't see right now. And you can, if you're interested and you feel like this is the right direction that you want to go, you can reach me in private and I'll give you more information about this process.
will do.
Great.
Do we have more slides or do we want to go into more questions, Karen?
This is actually, it's a few, I would say, details of how employees would benefit from wellness programs in the workplace. You do see that it can lower the amount of sick leaves and overall kind of like make the situation a bit better with people performing. I do think that if someone had asked me now, in their corporate now, whatever kind of like position you have, what can you do to kind of change or to bring more awareness? Because you kind of see that from like around you, people are more sick, people have like really bad mental health, people are kind of like complaining about the food quality, even though people who are not from my type of background, it might take a while for them to notice that they don't have many healthy options. I would say to that person again, if you're feeling like you want to make a change, find the right people in your company and start working from there and kind of understand if it's something that should be that it could be funded, then that's great, you have more options. If it's something that should be on a voluntary base, then kind of like understand if you want to take that role upon yourself, you want to be a role model to make everyone's lives a bit better, even though you don't, no money was kind of invested in it. But I do think and believe that this is something that every company and team should invest in. Definitely. If you're not already doing it or kind of like in the process of changing it, you could have like a 3-year plan of changing things, 5-year plan of this is where we want to be in 5 years. We can't do everything now, but we want to get there. That's also great, but always be in some type of movement and, activeness around this. Can I see the next slide?
Yeah. I have a question, since Crystal brought it up. What's your opinion on intermittent fasting and sustainability for a professional?
Okay. This is a question I also get asked a lot. And the funny thing is that different people who don't know each other could ask the same question around the same time, as if a trend is coming up and then it will be kind of like silenced down for a while and then brought up again. So I feel like it's kind of like a trend that is ongoing, and sometimes you feel everyone around you is like fasting in some way, and then kind of like people are discouraged by it. Fasting, the way I see it, it really takes a specific person to be able to really control yourself in that way. And there's a different types of way to fast. I won't go into all of it. I don't think I have to go into the to kind of convince people why to do it or why not to do it. It's not a method that I choose automatically with my clients, but I do kind of listen to their story. And sometimes people, and especially the people who don't eat breakfast, they're already on this kind of schedule. They're already fasting because usually you kind of skip breakfast and you only start eating during lunch. So for some people, it's already something they do. Okay. And for some people, it's going to be a really hard struggle. And if you want to experiment with that, it's totally fine. You just have to kind of make sure that you're not, I would say that you're the right audience to do it. Obviously, it's not for women who are pregnant or breastfeeding. It's not people with really high stress because your cortisol levels are already high and fasting could actually make it even worse. It's not people who are suffering from sleep deprivation because it could actually even make it worse depending on what hour you need to kind of eat your last meal. So if you're thinking about it, you can definitely investigate and see if it already kind of like harmonizes with your life and if it'll help you to stop snacking, because with fasting, it's only the hour limitation or the hour windows. It's not about what you eat. You can eat whatever you want during the hours that you're supposed to eat. So if you're the type of person who's constantly eating all the time, maybe it will give you a structure to kind of like decide, I'm not eating now, I'm not supposed to, I'm fasting. But if during those 8 hours you're still kind of like you're able to pump in all those calories, then you have, if it's for weight loss, you haven't really done it's not the right way, not the right way for you. So I would take into consideration all the things that I just said now, and think if this is the right option for you, really, because if you're not built up to it, it will be very, very hard. It will be, you're gonna sit with people who are eating, you're gonna have to change your social life. It's very, very hard. Yes. Okay. In this slide, you'll see a bit about my services and strategies. I do personalized nutrition plan. You won't see me giving out the same meal plan to everyone. I don't work with a specific diet plan or method. Every person gets listened to and is kind of like gets their own plan and their own special treatment. I do workshops and seminars. I've had a few workshops at schools for parents and for teachers. So if any of you listening to me right now wants to bring in a workshop to your business, there's so many different topics that we can talk about to kind of fit in what you're looking for. It could be just general overall eating, could be like a niche, something very, very specific, could be something that your employees are interested in. For example, some corporates have running groups or special like other types of competitive sport that they're interested in and might want extra information on in terms of nutrition. So the sky's the limit. And I also do nutrition coaching, which is basically people who just want someone to talk to, but not to follow a specific plan. They want to be able to send someone what they've eaten, or just someone to speak to in like an informal kind of way. I also do a blood work analysis, which is part of the nutrition plans. So you get a lot of answers for all those different numbers. Can I see the next slide, please? These are some of the clients that I've worked with. I had many, many interesting projects along the years. I've had cooking classes for athletes. I've had different workshops for different industries. I've worked with schools and mentoring high school students who were interested in wellness and health and kind of wanted to see if that's the direction they want to go in. I love my work. Can I see the next slide?
It shows.
Okay.
All right. So I got a couple of questions because I
Yes.
think we're gonna need to wrap up quickly here in the next 8 to 10 minutes. What is an office approved nutritional snack? Because, sometimes we do run out of steam midday and we're looking for something to have. What would be an approved thing to snack?
Okay, so in terms of snacks, and this is something that I teach my clients, and everyone who can get a piece of paper now should do it. There are specific rules to snacking. You can snack, you just have to be smart about it. So if you look at our macronutrients, we mix 2 macronutrients together and in a specific portion size, and that's our snack. So what do we mix together? We mix protein and carbs, that's 1 pair. We mix carbs and fats, that's another pair. And we mix protein and fats, 3rd pair. Got it?
Okay, again, please,
Yes.
maybe you could be a
I'll give
little
an
bit more.
example. I'll
Yeah,
give
do
examples.
examples, so be a
Yes.
little bit more
So it
specific.
could be a fist size fruit, like an apple. Okay, very simple, an apple, and 7 to 10 pieces of mixed nuts. That's a snack. Okay, you can get a little cup of yogurt. That's protein. Okay, and add those nuts in. That's fat, protein and fat. Okay, the apple is carbs with fat, the nuts. You can get like again, depending on the brand, but like 4 or 5 pieces of crackers with some sour cream. That's another type of snack. You can get hard-boiled egg, which is protein, and crackers. So I would like my advice to someone who's kind of like working in an office that has a pantry and can kind of bring in their own stuff. I would bring in a few hard-boiled eggs. I would bring mixed nuts, okay? I would bring in some yogurts and kind of rotate around those things to keep me full. And especially people who kind of decide they don't want to have big lunches and they only want to do snacks because that's what work with their schedules. People who are in meetings, people who are delivering meetings and they can't have like they don't have time for like a really big snack or a big lunch, or in terms of their gut health, they just can't handle those very big meals. That's another huge topic that needs to get the proper attention, the gut health. So I would kind of have like my own tiny supermarket in the pantry and kind of rotate around those things to kind of keep me from snacking on other people's very generous offers of snacks. You always have that person who has tons of like wonderfully colorful snacks that you feel bad saying no to, but you really want to keep, kind of go on with your goals and your decision. If you want to live a better life, you really have to learn to say, no, I have my own snack. It's okay. Okay.
I started, I think about a month ago, I discovered this thing called the Korean drunken eggs. I don't know if you know
About it. Heard about it? I don't know
Yeah.
too much about it.
It's basically boiled eggs. You put in soy with apple cider vinegar, sesame seeds, sesame oil, some onions, some chilies. Basically, we try to balance it. It's not sweet. It's savory. So
That's good.
yeah, it is. And then
That's good.
and I just have it. And because the recipe that I found, actually, I found it accidentally because my daughter's vegetarian and she's okay to eat eggs. And I was looking for something to snack on if I don't have time to run out buying fresh food kind of thing. And so the helper in the house, she just makes this and then I just kind of snack.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, so another question is, if you could give one universal nutrition tip for a busy professional trying to balance health and work, what would that be?
Okay. I want to give 2. Okay?
Okay,
Two.
you too.
So the first tip is the birthday tip that I gave before. So on your birthday, get a blood test. Make that effort for yourself. Okay, get that as a gift for yourself to kind of know what's going on, because you will know your hair color, your eye color, but you don't know what's going on in your bloodstream. Okay, so that's one tip. The second tip, it sounds kind of obvious, but I feel like today with so many options, just eat real food. real food. Kind of understand what is going on in your meal. If it's too many things, it's probably not the best option. Cut out on those snacks, those ultra processed snacks that are everywhere. Do your best to drink water or soda or fresh juices, but also in moderation. But just eat real food, wholesome food, and don't rely on all those processed meals and kind of like fast meal. And yeah, I would focus on those 2 tips, because I feel like the world is going mad as it is. So let's just try to keep it simple. Very simple. Yes.
Okay. I don't see any other questions
Okay.
listed in here, but I wanted to just give a reminder again for those who are in the call. I think we have slides, right, Sky? By the way, thank you, Sky, Sushi, Sai, and Ninja for helping to put these slides together, getting everything organized. You can open your camera and wave hello if you wish. So I think this is, if you want to connect with Keren, I think that's more, especially the people who got some questions here, so you can connect with her on WhatsApp, on Instagram. I don't know what's the last one. There's no icon in there.
It's
So then check.
I think it's LinkedIn.
Okay. So
Yeah.
there you go. Okay.
Too many.
Oh, okay. I got something coming from Hervé. Before you close, I want to thank Keren for all of this good work that saves lives. I was obese, then fat shamed, lost 30 kilos, and survived a heart attack. Oh, wow. I went on a ketogenic diet fast and eat real food. Yes.
Yeah, for some people, it should be a specific kind of like a checkbox that you kind of have to fill in. For some people, the keto diet and the fasting, especially with really high weight, it helps. You really see good response to that. You do.
I personally do IF, but I didn't realize that's what it was called. I just like to go. You know, like when I get up and I'm ready to go, whether I'm going to the gym or I'm going to work, I just like to go. And I do have to adjust my lunch, as you said, where I have to
Yeah.
insulin
And
spike
I also
after
think
lunch.
that regard to what Harvey said, starting a process where you know you have many kilos to drop is a process that you kind of go in, you're not too sure how it's going to look like, and you really have to find constant motivation to survive every day. And if you do it on your own, I don't even understand how you do it on your own. It's very hard. You really have to find the right person to support you on that, because some days you really want to give up. Just say, I'll just live the way it is. But if you hang in there, and probably with every process you go through, if you hang in there and kind of have those emotion and taken care of, and you find solutions, then you'll be able to kind of, pass that really bad time, and you'll have you'll reach the goal that you initially set for yourself.
Air says, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Keren. I'm an organic freak, have some to share. Sorry if I can't speak English, but I think they can. Okay, so there was, here you go,
thank
Crystal,
you.
some stuff here.
Thank you.
Organic online shopping.
Okay.
Alana Ryrun,
Good.
Rome,
Good.
Forest Organic, shop online. Yes,
I'll
Sam
look
Farm
into it.
Delivery.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Well, we'll put it back in our chat discussion. Sky, maybe you can save the chat and give it back to Tony. So it's also homework for her, just for her next webinar that she will do. So Deepti says,
A really
thank you.
great audience we had today.
Yeah. Deepti says, thank you, Keren. Thank you, Nui. Thank you, Sky. Huge thanks to the Burnout team for awesome webinar. So
Thank
remember,
you all.
yeah.
Thank you all for taking the time to listen, to really listen. You had really good questions.
Yeah. And remember, our mastermind is coming up. Crystal says, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Our mastermind is coming up on the 28th And Dipti is also my co-host here. She's a visibility and leadership mentor. And we have Joanna as our speaker. So if you're a solopreneur, an SME, or even a professional, looking for a new perspective and solution to a project, we do create a safe space. And we ask everyone to keep, whatever challenges they're facing confidential. And within the group, Keren has also come in the past, and she's also joined this. And then we have our other webinar coming up in July, and that's is the 6th or the 8th, guys. We scheduled it for the 6th, right? It's on, oh, no, it's on the 8th, and that's going to be at 2 p.m. So we look forward to welcoming you all there. It's now 3:03. Thank you, Keren, for all of your insights and advice and presentation, answering so many questions today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great.
Bye.
Bye-bye.